Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jinx, and I am bringing you my first ever gameplay commentary, and this is going to be my second 100k video. And before it starts, I apologize for the gameplay. I don't really play Respawn that much, but this will do. But my topic is going to be how I started playing, or not how, why I started playing Xbox, why I bought a capture card and started YouTube, and eventually how I ended up joining FaZe. Anyway, before all this Xbox and YouTube stuff, I owned an Xbox, but I would never play it. I think the only two games I had was like Call of Duty World at War and Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. And I would play it probably once every month, probably once every year. I don't know, I'm probably exaggerating, but I didn't play it a lot at this point. I played baseball and I skateboarded. That was all I did after school, well, between school, and that was my free time, skateboarding and sports, I guess. But the point of this story, I guess, I don't know how to put this. Well, to cut it short, I broke my skull skateboarding, and I was in the hospital for a really long time, and I couldn't skateboard anymore or play sports. So I started playing Xbox, I guess, because I had nothing else I could do, because skateboarding was my life, and I couldn't do it anymore for a while. But anyway, how I broke my skull and started Xbox. Me and my friends were skating downtown, and I actually wasn't even doing a trick when I broke my skull. It's kind of stupid. We were going back to my friend's house, and I was skitching on his moped, if you know what that is. Like, I was holding onto the back of his moped, and he was going down the road, and we were probably literally 50 yards or 60 yards from his house, and we were just dicking around, and I was holding onto his moped, and he was going like 30 or 35 miles per hour, and I was trying to tell him to slow down, but he had a helmet on, so he couldn't hear me. I was like tapping him on the shoulder. He thought I was just messing around or something, and I ended up getting speed wobbles and falling, going like 35, and I smashed, like whiplashed my back and smashed my head on the road and tumbled like a good 15 or 20 yards and was knocked unconscious on the road. And when I woke up, I just remember all my friends, or the two people that were there, standing above me, just like freaking out, like, "Are you okay?" And I thought I was okay. I just stood up and tried to like shake it off, but I couldn't like walk or talk. I just kind of stumbled back to my friend's house, and we got into his room, and I was sitting there, and I thought if I went and like washed my face, it'd make me feel better for some reason. I thought that was a good idea. But whenever I tried to stand up, I just fell straight over and hit my head again on his dresser, and his mom came in and thought I was drinking. It's kind of funny, and she brought me out into the living room, and she was going to call my mom's boyfriend at the time to come pick me up. And while we were waiting, I tried to go to the bathroom to wash my face again, and when I got up, I was like walking down the hallway, and I couldn't keep my balance. I was like knocking picture frames off the wall and falling, and when they finally got there, when I got up, I noticed that I could see the bone on my wrist as well. Like I got road rash so bad on my wrist. I didn't break my wrist, but you could see the bone popping out of my wrist. It was pretty nasty. But when my stepdad, why did I say stepdad? My mom's boyfriend came and got me. We went into my living room, and my mom got home, and she thought I just like hit my head and had a little concussion. We were just laying on the couch. She like wrapped up my wrist, and I started to feel really nauseous. So I went to the bathroom, and I threw up like 3 or 4 times, and my mom like knew it was a serious concussion, so she called the ambulance, and they got there, and they took me to the hospital. And we finally got to the hospital, and I'm drawing a blank here. Alright, we got to the hospital. Sorry, I can't really remember this. It's kind of hard to remember. Yeah. Anyway, got to the hospital, and I think the first thing they did was brought me to the CAT scan room, I want to say. And they did all the readings on that, and they figured out that I broke my skull. I don't know the bone. I think it starts with a B. I have no idea, but it's right on the back of my head. And they also noticed that I had a bunch of blood on the back of my brain. Like, my brain was bleeding. So they called the Cleveland Clinic, which is like the biggest hospital around, I guess, in Ohio. And they actually called for a helicopter to life flight me to the Cleveland Clinic. And I got on the helicopter, and I've actually never been on like an airplane or a helicopter in my entire life. That's just the only time, still to this day, I've been on an aircraft, I guess you could say. But I finally get onto the airplane, and my mom like comes on the airplane with me. My family's freaking out. They think I'm dead or something. We get to the Cleveland Clinic, and they thought they were gonna have to do brain surgery on me, but they let me sit, I think, for 1 day, and they said if the bleeding didn't stop on my brain, then they were gonna do surgery. But it ended up stopping like just a couple hours after I got to the Cleveland Clinic, but I still had to stay at the hospital for like 4 days. And I finally got home, and the headaches I got were like, you wouldn't even believe. It was like a drill on the back of my head. I can't even explain it. It sounded like I'm like complaining, but it was awful. And this, I broke my skull I think 2 weeks before my sophomore year in high school started. So when school started, I would probably miss 2 or 3 days a week or go home almost every other day because these headaches were so bad. Like, I had permission to leave school obviously because of the medical condition, but I couldn't skateboard obviously because I had an injury, because the skull takes so long to heal. I couldn't do like anything, couldn't play sports, nothing. So a couple of my friends suggested that I should get Xbox Live, and I wasn't a gamer. I was like, I don't really feel games. Like, well, what else are you gonna do? So I was like, all right, I started playing with them like after school or whatever. It was actually really fun. So they also showed me sniping, like not like trick shotting or anything, but just like quick scoping, and I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world because I thought getting kills with the sniper was hard as it is, and they were like zooming in super quick and killing these guys so fast. I thought it was amazing. They ended up showing me videos on YouTube of like Grizz and Optic Predator. Optic Predator was like the one that made me like start recording. I ended up buying a Dazzle HD recorder from Best Buy. It was like $30 or something. And I had a channel before this one. It had like 1.5k or 2,000 subscribers, but ended up getting hacked. I had like little videos of me just like quick scoping. Like the montage would be a song and single clips of single kill quick scopes. It was like the most ridiculous thing, but it was like the funnest thing in the world. And I ended up finding out who FaZe and all the big clans were Optic and FaZe, and I'd messaged FaZe. I think they had like 10 or 17k. I'd message them like every day telling them to check out my videos, all that stuff, but they obviously would never reply because I don't see why they would. They were single quick scopes and stuff. But to get into the why I started trick shotting, I saw the Dare promo actually, and that was like the biggest thing that made me want to start trick shotting. I started like going for kill cams all the time, and actually ended up hitting a lot. I got trick shot of the day, like when I was actually like good to get, I guess you could say. I got trick shot of the day I think 2 days in a row, or it was 2 out of 3 days. And I also this is gonna be like how I got in FaZe. I was subscribed to Dare Pwn, and he posted a video saying like to play with his subscribers, and I was the first one. Like, I was on YouTube, I was the first one to message him, and I was the first one to get invited to play pubs with him. I ended up hitting like 3 kill cams, and he ended up adding me, and I was playing with Dare, and like I think I was playing with, I want to say Slasher, and I played with Fakey in the public match thing with Dare Pwned. Or not Slasher, it was just Fakey. He was in the public match with Dare Pwned thing. But anyway, I was making videos at that point still, and I started to get a little bit better, and Pwned was the leader of Dare at the time. When Dare, like, this is when Dare first started. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I added him, he actually got me into Dare. After like seeing my videos and how much I was playing and how much I was hitting, I got into Dare. And from there, I think I was in Dare for about a month, and I hit like my tack knife flip on Quarry and my throwing knife on Quarry. Like, I was hitting like all these insane shots. And I remember Tommy, or you guys Temper, he added me like probably a week after I joined Dare. Ended up live streaming with FaZe all the time. Like, I'd get invited to FaZe lobbies all the time, and then Seabass added me on Skype one day, and he's just like, hey, do you want to join FaZe? And I was like, no, actually at the time I was unsure about if I wanted to join or not, because I didn't want to leave Dare. But I ended up joining, and now I am 2 years deep in FaZe. Just about. Well, sorry to cut it short at the end a little bit, but that was my first ever gameplay commentary. Sorry if I was like chopping and screwing up words and repeating a lot. It's my first one. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment, and if you want me to do more of these, let me know. Thank you.